I found this one here on Craigslist for $100. I've been talking back and forth with the guy, and he says that it runs and works fine, and the only thing that's wrong with it is that that part is broken, and so that you can't mow. Yeah, let's go see if this is gonna be worth $100 or not. Alright, well, I've got service engine light on, low fuel light, and ABS light. It says my tank is less than empty. Cross my fingers my old pickup gets us there and back. Well, the camera battery's dying, but I picked it up and I am back on the road. Cue the time lapse. Go. Watch out. Oh, hi, dude. Well, the deck scraped pretty bad right there. Hopefully that didn't mess anything else up. Alright, well, I got this parts picture exploded diagram deal thing that I believe is for the mower that I just picked up. So let's go see if we can get this deck tore off, and I don't know. We'll see if we can get it to cut grass tonight, but I'm not entirely expecting that. So. Alright, well, it's already dark, which is about expected, but I got the deck pulled off without any tools, actually. It was just a bunch of clips and bars and brackets and stuff, which I didn't keep track of, other than I wrote front on 2 of them. The rest I just blindly took off. But let's just go see if we can take this thing for a drive without it blowing up first before we go any further.
We all good, boy?
Okay. Well, smoking a little bit, but probably needs a carb clean, so, and it's dark anyway, but I'll pick the camera back up again once I'm doing something. All right, well, it's the next morning here. It's just a little bit after 6:30, May 27th, 2026. So, gonna continue working on this thing today anyways. Right now I'm just gonna try and pull the spark plug out and then run to Walmart or wherever and see if I can get one of those. Just, I don't know if I'll use it or not, be out depending on the condition of the one that's in there, but I'd like to have one on hand anyways. And then after that I'll come back and clean the air filter, try and clean the carburetor, and then go continue on about getting the deck spinning and working. This is everything I've taken off so far to remove the deck. Besides the clips that hold these things on, I put those back on, like the studs or post, or I took them off of, so hopefully so I don't lose them. Oh, there's one, but yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get that spark plug pulled out. Wrench on there. Oh, free bird feather. Alright, looks like just a standard. Well, it actually doesn't quite look like a 5/8, but I think it's a 5/8, so grab a spark plug socket and pull this thing out. Alright, well, yeah, I would appear that it is indeed just a standard 5/8 spark plug socket. I doubt you can see that. Champion. Ooh, yeah, it does. Well, doesn't look great, but it does smell rather rich. But I wonder what they got an NGK version of this. I like NGKs better than Champion. Yeah, everything in here is pretty dirty. Could use some cleaning, that's for sure. Oh, nice. Lovely. RC12YC. Is it the same one? Yes, it is. Alright, well, I'm gonna go buy some new plugs. And yeah, pick the camera back up once I've got them, and I'm doing more work on this. Picked up some oil and a couple new spark plugs. I did find an NGK cross-reference in case anyone has the same mower. It's a YT4000 with Craftsman. There's the NGK swap or replacement BKR5E7938. But before I even do anything with the engine or tuning up wise, I'm gonna excuse me, I printed out a whole bunch of pretty much just diagrams as far as like different parts of the mower go. Anything I thought that might be helpful to get an idea of trying to put this thing back together here. But yeah, like what I was gonna say is I'm gonna try and see if I can get the deck put on and spinning before I go and finish tuning up the top side and stuff. But yeah, all right, but I'll put it on time lapse, and then I'll try and pick the camera up if I do anything worth recording or anything that I think might be helpful. Okay, well, after about 10 seconds of looking at this thing a little further, I started finding broken things already, which I kind of was expecting. For example, here, this spring, broken. But this piece right here, that you probably really can't see very well, goes down and makes like a little bit of a bendy bend and then comes back up right here. that is the piece that is broken and missing from, I believe, right here. Looks like there's actually one of the bolts there still, so that's kind of nice. Maybe, but so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the other mower I got, and then see if I can rob some parts off of that. But oh, there's wood ticks on me. I'm also gonna set up in the gravel because there's wood ticks everywhere. I'll often find myself doing things that don't make much sense, but in this case in particular, I took a whole bunch of clips and things and stuff off of that lawnmower over there for absolutely no reason, because there is not a single thing on there that I can use on this mower. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna now I got my air compressor out here, so I'm gonna blow off all those pulleys and that deck the best I can, and then I'm just gonna see if I can weld that mandrel thing. And I don't know if there's one spring that's broken. This appears to be broken, so I'm either gonna figure out if I can replace it or if I can use it without that spring. But usually springs are pretty important, I think, so probably not going to get away without the spring. I'm assuming it goes from here to here. It's really my only thought. Alright, well, I've been staring at the the diagrams for this deck and stuff that I printed out, and I think I came to the conclusion that this spring isn't broken. It's actually I printed out this picture here, and I believe it's that spring there, and it's a cable that runs through it, so that's why one end of it doesn't have a hook on it. So with that said, here's that mandrel. There's a mandrel there, that black thing, and then a mandrel here. Here's the broken one, and this is only maybe an 1/8 inch steel, but I'm just gonna see if I can put it in my vise and tack it together, and maybe just goober a ton of tacks on here. It's just a little stick welder that I have, and if that doesn't work, I could very easily buy this piece, or just, I mean, if worst comes to worst and I can't buy it or something, I can just probably remake it. But yeah, I'm just gonna give that a shot first. I'm gonna go get my vise and a little welder here set up, and yeah, we'll give it a shot. I ended up welding that onto it, and that seemed to stick a little bit, at least I think. Yeah, it's the most hideous weld I think ever in history, maybe. But let's see if I can poke an 1/8 inch drill bit through there, and then try and ream that hole back out with this here step bit. Okay, well, as ugly as it is, this here bolt, I'll have to look at the size. I picked it out of my little hardware thing. Fits through the hole now. Like that. But now I should be able to just nip the rest of this off here. Alright, I'm just going to try and get these cleaned up a little bit. Not that it probably really matters that much. It helps when you have a battery. Alright, well, even with those ugly, hideous welds, it's still... Well, come on, focus. Still looks like a part, at least. Now I just gotta back out that bolt that the ratchet is on over there, and see if it'll go in. But being that other bolt is broken off inside of it, I think I'm gonna heat it up with a torch as I do it. Hope there's no rubber or anything under there. I hear it cracking. Knew it. Now what? Snap the other one off, I guess. And there it goes. That was pretty easy. Well, I wonder if I even just, if I don't even do anything else till I just get a whole rebuild kit. Oh, they're hot. It's disappointing. Alright, well, I got a crowbar shoved in that hole, the end of that casting on that motor, whatever it is, spindle thingy. Let's see if I can get it off with my impact. Well, that came off. Sweet. It never works. Nice. We got one good thing going. Guess I'm gonna see if I can weld some nuts onto those things and back them out. Or actually, I might just go and... Well, it's already 8 o'clock, so there probably won't be anywhere tonight that has something. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get these things backed out. Don't have the most faith in that. Alright, let's attempt this now. The bearing on this thing actually seems pretty nice. I mean, it moves pretty smooth. It's rusty, but I mean, the blades don't look too chooched up either. I mean, they're real rusty, but clean these up as good as I can and pray I can get something stuck to it. Boy, that stuff, I don't know what that is, but it does not smell good. Not gonna work. Time to drill. Tap it, tap, tap. I think I gotta drill deeper. Well, alrighty folks, it is now 8:51. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the 4th day of owning this lawnmower. It is yet to mow lawn or do anything besides drive forward and backwards. But the last video I took, I was trying to use this bolt extractor set to remove these bolts that were in here. I turned the camera off because I started getting rather frustrated, and a lot of unpleasant words and actions were said and done, which led to me hitting things really hard with my hammer, and I broke this casting, which I was expecting, kind of, because I tend to have a problem with getting a little bit too aggressive, guerrilla style on things when I'm angry. But however, I just got back from driving at least 100 miles, and I think I went to every store that sells lawnmower parts within that 100-mile circle of where I live. But I think that I found some parts to maybe make this work. Maybe. Found this here spindle assembly. There's the part number. It's at Oregon, I believe, or maybe not. It's a Husqvarna, I think, assembly. And I found some blades as well, instead of trying to use these crusty old ones. These were like 10 bucks a piece. Total for that spindle and the 2 blades was $75 and 13 cents. So yeah, that plus this bolt extractor set, and then the 2 spark plugs and the oil that I have not put in yet because I haven't gotten anywhere, is all I'm into this mower. So hopefully this fixes it, but I will update that here in a minute. Let's get this. I'm pretty sure the blades are right. They look to be the same. So let's get this out of the box and see if it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same as this here, and then start putting stuff back together, hopefully. I actually found a store that lets you look at the spindles. Unlike a lot of them, there was like 3 stores I went to where you're not allowed to look at them unless you buy them, which is ridiculous to me. But the place that I found it at, ended up letting you open up as many boxes as you want. It makes perfect sense. Why does it matter if you open it, put a new piece of tape on it? Okay, that looks like it's gotta be the same. And this one has a Zerk on the top of it. Whoa, that is genius. Why would this not have a Zerk on it? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Hopefully you can see that, or if you can't, I imagine you get the point. The bolt holes are lining up there now, so I think I need bolts. And we will we'll drop them all. That's the first thing we'll do. Start this really quick so it doesn't fall. Oh, here's this. I don't know how well I showed this. I printed this picture out. I found a picture online and edited it on my iPhone so it has a white background. Here's the deck and the belt routing. Here's that mandrel I'm talking about, if you can see that at all. That black sticking up thing there. And here's the broken one that I'm about to put on, hopefully. Here's that piece that I was just trying to show. It's hard to kind of see in that picture, and even right now because of the lighting, but that's the side that I fixed, or at least tried to fix it, so we'll see if it's strong enough. Alright, that's the side that I fixed, and the bolt goes through it, so that's a good start. Guy could probably realistically remake this piece of 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch steel rod, whatever that is, if they wanted to. Alright, I got that old spindle and blade chucked up in the vise here. Chucked up in the... whatever, in the vise. And this here nut is 5/8. Is this safe? Yes! Yeah! Yeah! It came out. Incredible! Incredible! Beautiful, beautiful rusty bolt. Yes! Not so ugly anymore. Torque spec on that's #1 on 3/8 DeWalt stubby impact. Oh, you got! That should stop, right? Wrong. That might work. She's a loose one. Sweet. Okay, well, I got that pulley and that spindle on there. There's a tiny bit of weeble wobble on it, but I just tried spinning it up with my impact, and it seems that once you get her going real fast, like, the centrifugal forces take over, and it seems to sound lawnmower-ish. I'll try and do it again without chopping my leg off. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how much faster a lawnmower is going to spin it, but it seems pretty fast and it didn't fly off. Cut my leg off here. Knock on wood. So let's try and put the thing back together and see if it works. All right, folks. Well, it's Saturday, May 30th. Well, my watch decided that it's gonna be Mexican today, so it's actually sub May 30th, which would make that day Cinco of owning this lawnmower, and it has yet to touch. Well, not touch, it has yet to do anything related to cutting grass. However, wherever I left it last night, I have got that new spindle installed to the best of my ability. The pulley that I took off is also reinstalled to the best of my ability. That mandrel thing here that I welded, that is reinstalled. And I mean, obviously, well, I guess not obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but being that I didn't grind out that little concaved area there in the middle where the bolt sits, this bolt here is only going to be threaded down, well, it's going to be threaded down an 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more than that, less than the rest of them. But being that there was only 2 of them on here to begin with, I don't think it's really even, 3's got to be better than 2, and this 4th one is doing something at least, I think. So, but anyways, where I left off last night, I got the deck back under here and was about to start putting back like the lifting bars and clippy things and whatnot, and I came to the realization that the clutch cable on this, or the spring that I originally thought was broken, the spring I don't think is broken, but this cable is indeed missing something that keeps it from falling out, or like sliding out of that spring. Let me grab the spring quick. All right, what I was explaining, or going to explain, was this cable is attached here to this lever. As if you can see, I move this lever, the cable moves as well. That lever, that cable. The end of this cable is supposed to have this spring over it, like this. And presumably there's supposed to be something in there down in that side, inside of that spring on the end of that cable, that prevents this spring from just going like that, because it kind of can't do its job when it can do that. So I'm going to pull this off really quick and run to the part stores in town and see if they have one that's the same length. And if they don't, then I might be trying to do some very shifty, more, not like any of the rest of this hasn't been shifty, but probably maybe end up doing some more shifty stuff. Well, I did spend pretty much the entirety of today driving around trying to find that clutch engagement cable, and I did not. So I ended up buying some little thimbles and bits and stops and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that this should work, what I've got in mind anyways. I bought also this picture hanging wire because I thought I was going to maybe have to add some cable, but I don't think I'm going to maybe. Or going to have to add any. Here's the spring that was on there. Here's one of the thimble sets I got. Here's the other one. 3/32 sleeve, stop, and thimble set, and 1/8 inch. Here's the original cable that is broken. And my grand plan here, my grand sketchy plan here is to take this end of the cable, this end here, the broken end, and one of these little stops like this, and my plan is to put the spring back on like that, like so. Take this little stoppy deal here and feed that on. Okay, there, I think I got them all through there. So now I got that on there. Seems a pretty squishy to me. I mean, see if it still fits down in that hole. Oh, ah. All right, well, I think I maybe have that cable put on there somewhat right, so I'm just gonna put it on time lapse, crawl back under there, and see if I can get the rest of the deck hook backed up. Go from there. All right, well, that took, again, way longer than it should have. I think, for the most part, I have everything cobbled on there. I'm really confident that it's going to work, and by really confident, I mean I have zero confidence that it's going to work. No, let's just try it before I even put the new spark plugs in or anything. I'm just going to see if the blades will even try and spin. All right, let's see if this thing even starts, and then after that, we'll see if it is going to spin the blades. I don't know why I'm so scared, but I'm a little scared right now. I figure the worst that can happen is I die. Second worst is the mower breaks worse than it was. Hopefully none of those happen. Please start. Apparently we got something not hooked up down there. We're not moving. Okay, well I don't know how well you can see this, but it's, well you can probably see pretty well. It's pitch black. Well actually it looks kind of light out with the GoPro, but... Oh Duke, yeah I got something. I just took the deck off entirely again and jacked the mower up as high as I could and discovered, because I mean the mower just wouldn't move all of a sudden. It was moving fine before I started all this, so I was like, well that doesn't make much sense. So I took the deck off, jacked it up, sure enough stared at it for long enough and scratched my head, and it was somehow one of the, like on the drive belt, the pulleys got, or the belt got moved off the pulley. So I'm gonna start it now and see if it moves, and then if it moves I can try the blade again. Hopefully. Okay, it still didn't move. I have one more praying, hoping God that this is why. I pulled this thing out, and maybe if I push this in. Now, will it move? They're not hooked up or wired. Oh, it's pretty dark, so it's kind of hard to see this. But I don't know how even it's cutting, but it is cutting. I don't know if you can see where it transitions back to hayfield. But I don't know. Regardless, I smell grass that's cut, and the mower's moving. So I'll pick this back up once I am hopefully actually mowing the grass. All right. Well, I ended up doing a few test cuts on this last night. It's now Sunday evening, about half hour before it gets dark. But I'm just gonna throw the new plugs in now that I'm at least hopefully it's still working, and then put some gas in it and try and get some freaking grass mowed. There you go. All right, let's finally, hopefully, mow something. Alright, well you probably can't even see me because it's dark now, but I was at least able to get the backyard done for the most part. Because it was so long, because I waited so long here to get a mower operating, I've just been trying to go over it a couple times, get rid of all those extra clippings, but for now it's I'm pretty happy that it at least got that cut because it needed it. All right, well I got dark last night, but I was able to finish for the most part anyways, the backyard. I'm probably gonna go over it again just because of how long it was and how much grass clippings are left, and I would like to seed this area and get this all filled in eventually. But what was that? Air filter? Come on. I know what it sounds like. Why is it? What? Alright, well I'll pick the camera up if I figure this out. Well, alright folks. I don't know where I picked up the camera last as far as working on this mower goes, but so far I got to mow the lawn once. I let it sit overnight. And then the next morning or next day, afternoon, whatever it was, when I came to use it again, it would crank and crank and crank and crank and kind of sputter a tiny bit, but it just would not start. So I did everything that I would normally do in a scenario like that, checking fuel, checking spark, checking air, battery, filters, little fuel pump. I mean, ruling out everything basic. I was about to tear the carb apart, but I came to the conclusion, or I decided that the carb was still getting fuel and probably still working, being that I tested a couple other things. But eventually I ended up pulling this valve cover off, and when I took that off, this push rod completely just fell out of there, and it is a little bit bent, which isn't good. If I kind of just push down on like this valve spring, you can see I can move it pretty easily with my hand, but this one I can't move it unless I push like as hard as I can, which seems a bit odd to me. So yeah, I don't know. I'll try and pick the camera up for anything interesting. And yeah, this is also to the point where it is well over my head, and I have basically, well, not basically, I have no idea what I'm doing really. So it's going to be quite a struggle trying to find top dead center and use my feeler gauges to set the valve flash and stuff. But yeah, like I said, we will hopefully get there if we get there.